Kawampa, it's me. Welcome to episode 2 of the Weekly Whisper. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. I love talking about wrestling. Let's get into it. 365 Pro Wrestling has just made history this weekend. They have ran their first ever 2 live events, and we are going to talk about that and so much more. I'm so grateful to have you here joining me for the second episode. Thank you to everybody who watched the first one, who responded with comments, good or bad. I love the feedback, and let's get into, we got a bunch of stuff we got to cover. First off, before I get into the results of the shows, now mind you, this episode will have spoilers of the first 2 shows that took place. Friday, January 10th in Cam River and Saturday, January 11th in Courtenay. So if you do not want to find out the results of those matches, I'm not going to say turn the video off, because I still want the views, so maybe just mute it and enjoy my jolly face for 10 minutes or so. But we got some news came down. It has not been announced to the media, whatnot, but I got some inside information that the shareholders, the owners, I don't know what you want to call them, but they sat down and they decided that they do have a commissioner, but they are not ready to make the announcement yet. But as soon as they make that announcement, we'll be right on top of that and we'll get it covered. But the reason I tell you about this is because the commissioner has already made some important decisions, specifically this weekend. The first one I want to talk about is the announcement. It was announced on the Zebra's Corner with referee Old School Eddington James that 365, one of the rules that they will have is they will be operating outside of the ring with a 20 count instead of a 10 count. I am not going to get into the specifics of the explanation as to why, so check out the Zebra's Corner. Old School will fill you in as to why the decision was made and what benefits they feel they will have by making this decision. So, as you may or may not know, the biggest star, I guess, of the weekend, I don't know if I'd say star, but the person that made the biggest impact in the ring over the weekend was Mother Nature herself. A major storm hit Vancouver Island and the mainland, and because of this, BC Ferries canceled all ferry service on Friday. So, some great talents were not able to make the show. We were not able to get Billy Swade or Tony Baroni or Beef Boy, Nicole Matthews, Jordy Taylor. The Von Slashers couldn't make it. So card subject to change, and that's why it's so important that they had a commissioner. He was able to shuffle the deck and get a great show out to the fans of Cam River. Thank you for being out there. The crowd that came was lively and it was great. I was not there, but I'm just from the reports I received. And also, even though this is the second episode, I don't mind revisiting this. So if you were a fan that was at one of the shows, I'm going to be talking about the Courtenay show coming up as well. Please, give me your results. Give me your likes, your dislikes, what you saw, your favorite matches and whatnot, and your experience. And I will quote you on the show and name drop you. And it's never too late. Get it in. Comment on this post. I read all the comments. Or you could just message me, Facebook Messenger, or just commenting on my Facebook is the best way to reach me. So, like I said, the card was shaken up. So certain matches that were scheduled to happen did not happen, and different opportunities arose because of this. The very first match in the history of 365 Pro Wrestling went down. It was Haviko taking on Zach Andrews, and Haviko scored the first ever victory in the history of 365 Pro Wrestling. Yes, a lot of history was made, and I'm going to be going over that. As you can see, the first this match, the first that match. Haviko picking up the very first victory ever in the history of 365 Pro Wrestling. And then, the next contest, Brett Matthews takes on BJ Laredo, and not only did he take on BJ Laredo, he picked up the victory, and BJ was not very happy about this, and I will get into more about that later on in the episode as to why and what happened because of that. And then in the third match, Nolan James defeated Eddie Osborne. Nolan James defeated Eddie Osborne, and see, there was only 6 talents able to make the show, and they busted their ass to make a great show, but because of this, the word was passed down from the commissioner that as a special treat, because some of the matches that could not take place, that were scheduled to take place could not take place, that he was going to activate, he or she, sorry, I apologize, I should never assume, as I don't even know who it is myself, that he or she has said that instead of waiting, they were going to hold this off a little bit longer, but they activated the very first championships in 365. They activated the 365 Tag Team Championships, and they put them on the line for two teams in the very first ever championship match in 365 Pro Wrestling and the very first ever main event for 365 Pro Wrestling. It was Havico and Eddie Osborne, who I've decided to dub. It's not their real name, but this is what I'm going to call them. It's Havio. Sorry. You know it's not good if you can't say it. Because it's like Havico and EO for Eddie Osborne. So it's Havio. The tag team of Havio. Havico and Eddie Osborne would take on Nolan James and Zach Andrews in a 10,000 Thumbtack Tag Team Championship match. And the team of Havico and Eddie Osborne, became the very first ever champions, the very first ever tag team champions, and the winners of the very first ever main event in the history of 365 Pro Wrestling. Congratulations to them, and congratulations to all the talents who stepped up and made sure to still put on a good show, despite the conditions forcing some of the talent to be unable to appear. And then the next night in Courtenay. Now, everyone was so happy. I've seen a lot of social media posts from the people who I do follow. The ones who came from the mainland who were not able to make the Friday show were pumped. They were ready to get there for the Courtenay show. They had missed out on one night of wrestling and they wanted to make up for it. And they were ready to come. But guess who did a run-in again? Mother Nature decided once again to rear her ugly head, ugly only in this fashion, in this context, and once again body slammed some of the wrestlers out of the card, and the commissioner had to step in again and make some decisions. The card still took place, great show, and we're going to cover the matches right here. We got Havico in the opening contest defeated Zach Andrews. Now, because of the night before, the tag team of Nolan and Zach Andrews, who lost in the tag team championship match, Nolan accompanied Zach Andrews to the ring, and vice versa. When Nolan wrestled later on in the night, Zach accompanied them. So they are formed an alliance. They're looking to get those tag team championships from Havio. And let's try and think of a name for these guys. Like, what's a good name for Nolan James and Zach Andrews, the tag team of them two together? But because even though Nolan accompanied Zach Andrews to the ring, Havico still picked up the victory. Havico 3 for 3 so far on the weekend. The second match, this one I really can't wait to see. I can't wait till some of the videos come out of the matches. I haven't seen any. I've seen some pictures, but I haven't seen really any of the action. But I really want to see this. TJ Harley defeated Rhea Von Slatcher in what I'm just assuming was one of the greatest matches of the weekend, if not the greatest one. That's one I can't wait to see. Just keep doing what I do. I hit the bell on notifications on the 365 Pro Wrestling YouTube account. So anytime a new video is posted, it notifies me. I suggest you do the same. You're going to make sure you get up top on all the latest things. So yeah, TJ Harley was still able to make it. And he defeated Rhea Von Slatcher, who was also able to make this show. The third match, Nolan James, with his partner, Zach Andrews, accompanying him to ringside, was able to pull up the victory over Cremator Von Slatcher. Some people would call this an upset. I'm not sure if I call it upset because I've seen Nolan James compete, but I would say it was more of a 50-50, but Nolan James was able to get the victory there over Cremator. And then in a rematch from the night before in Campbell River, Havico and Eddie Osborne, Havio, defended their tag team championships against Nolan James and Zach Andrews, and they were able to retain the titles and successfully, in their first title defense, be successful. So there you go. The very first ever title defense in 365 Pro Wrestling has taken place. And then, in our main event, now I kind of touched on this a little bit before, BJ Laredo was kind of mad the previous night after losing to Brett Matthews, so he approached the commissioner and asked to request to have a rematch against Brett Matthews. The commissioner agreed under the condition that it was a 10,000 thumbtacks match. So in your main event, the first ever 365 Pro Wrestling main event in Courtenay, BC, BJ Laredo takes on Brett Matthews in a 10,000 thumbtack match, and Brett Matthews was able to win 2 nights in a row over BJ, which I'm sure didn't sit well with the great competitor that BJ is. And I've seen some pictures of this match on social media, and especially the aftermath of this match, and it looks like this was a brutal contest. It looks like both men took quite a beating, and I can't wait to see that match arrive on social media as well. So the commissioner also announced that 365 Pro Wrestling would be returning to both shows in the end of February, about a week or so after Valentine's Day. And we also just got to touch on, make sure you keep up with all the content. There's so much great content out there on the 365 YouTube. It's also some stuff's on Google and Spotify. Check out their Instagram, their Twitter, their Facebook feeds. There's always stuff being posted, and there was stuff posted today as well. You got my show every week. You got the Starting Point. It's in our DNA show that drops every week. I watched the one with Mike 40 today. I found it interesting. I enjoyed it. I've been doing little music videos, like little tribute music videos for some of the wrestlers. Just something I have fun with, and I just put together clips of them wrestling and make a little rap song for them, and I enjoy doing that. And the daily podcast. And but before I wrap it up here, I just want to say a lot of people stepped up, but to me the MVPs of this weekend have to be Haviko, Zach Andrews, and Nolan James, who all wrestled 4 matches in 2 days, and they got to be feeling it. But big props for them for stepping up and delivering for the fans, making sure nobody went home disappointed. I got much respect for them for that. And so in my next episode, I will be talking any new announcements that have been made. I'll be running over the card for the Ontario shows that are coming up sooner than later. It's creeping up on us, folks, so get ready. And I just wanted to mention this. I didn't mention this the last time. Make sure you like the video, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. And subscribe, or you get a suplex. This is important to me. I appreciate when people watch, but it doesn't take much to just click that little thumbs up like, to leave a comment just to tell me what you're thinking, what you liked about the show, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. And like I said, if you have any experiences from being at the shows, be sure to comment them. And you know what? You could kick out of the leg drop, the like or get a leg drop. You could probably kick out of that. And the clothesline, the comment clothesline, you could probably kick out of that. But I would not suggest, and please do not attempt, to kick out of the subscribing suplex. Please. Click on subscribe, support 365, that's giving you free content on YouTube all the time, daily, sometimes twice daily, and it's great content, and just click subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It, you're not going to get spammed in your emails with anything like that. Just click subscribe and show your support. And thank you very much. Thanks for joining me this week. I look forward to next week. I love wrestling. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. Cuba!